Hello everybody and welcome back to the United Stand. It is the countdown to kick off the build-up show as Manchester United take on Burnley at home after the most disappointing, awful, dismal performance and loss we have seen in a very long time. I mean, we have been through it all.
Yeah.
We've been through 7-0 against Liverpool.
Yep.
We've been through defeats left, right and centre. We've had Brentford put 4 past us on the opening day of the season, I think it was, or the second day actually after the Brighton game. We've had some bad results. I mean, they're hard to list off. But Grimsby, League Two, 4th division side, and they dominated us, outplayed us, and ultimately deserved to win. I mean, we have got to see something today. We have got to see this Manchester United side and Ruben Amorim turn up, all guns blazing. And honestly, Mords, I don't see anything but a win is acceptable today.
I mean, anything but a win wasn't acceptable on Wednesday. You know,
Yeah,
I mean, to be fair, there wasn't even a forum. I actually remember there wasn't actually a forum on Wednesday. But I mean, look, touching briefly on that game. Sorry, I don't even want to talk on it. If I'm being honest, I kind of want to move away from it. I know it is a factor in everything that we're going to be speaking on. You know, especially with Amarim and certain players. Because I mean, in my opinion, it is a case of both of them. There's not just one side where you can just say it's just the manager or it's just the players. Both sides need to be held accountable for that loss. But both games today and Wednesday should have been must-wins, both of them. So in my opinion, it really can't be salvaged what happened the other day, because I think both of them should have been easy wins for United, but it's already 1 out of 2.
Yeah, Mords, good to break that down there. I mean, in that way, I know you... It's funny, guys, because just to kind of keep you in the loop, and I wish we could have a group chat with everyone. We need... There's some way to do that. We need to make it, because we have a little forum group chat. It has been going off the last couple of weeks, hasn't it?
Honestly.
After that Grimsby game, some words are said in there that...
Everyone was emotional. That's what I will say. Everyone was very emotional. I was very emotional after that game. That was a horrible game, but... yeah. It
was. I mean, just some breaking news as well. Rasmus Hojlund to Napoli. Here we go. I can get the exact details up for you here, just so we have them, so people know the latest news that's going on. So it is Rasmus Hojlund to Napoli. Here we go. As per Fabrizio Romano, verbal agreement done between all parties involved. Loan deal for €6 million fee with buy option clause to become mandatory under certain conditions, worth €44 million, set for medical in the next 24 hours. I mean, just to touch on that, Mords.
Yeah.
Hojlund now gone. If Napoli gets Champions League, I'm pretty sure it is. There might be a couple of other clauses in there. He will go on a permanent move to Napoli. Obligation to buy for €44 million with a €6 million fee. Total package seems to be touching just over £40 million.
That's a lot.
Not too bad for Rasmus Hojlund, really.
Yeah.
I think we've done well there. And then you have Garnacho, who's just gone to Chelsea. Crazy to think Garnacho and Hojlund are going for the same price, by the way. Or is it?
No, it is. I think Garnacho has a bit more money in the bank, though. I'll be honest. They're both. I'll be honest. They're both not like, you know, world beaters. In my opinion, anyway, they're both not, you know, £60 million plus players or whatever. But I think Garnacho's done a little bit more than Hojlund. Hojlund's probably had one good season, but I think Garnacho, even though he wasn't the greatest last season, he studied a lot more, in my opinion, than Hojlund did. So, but to be fair, 40 million for both of them, I think we've done well.
Yeah.
Because I don't think we would have got anything more for either of them.
Well, 2 young players with potential. I mean, the one thing I will say about that is, I mean, I did think it was best for both of them to move on. But now I'm seeing this team this season, I'm like, is it even the players anymore? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hojlund and Garnacho got a lot of stick last season for not being able to put the ball in the back of the net, but we still don't like putting the ball in the back of the net.
Still struggling. Yeah, no, you're not right. You're not wrong, to be fair, because if you look at, again, we're going to have to keep mentioning this Grimsby game, because it's the last game we played, and it's probably the worst game we're going to have played in a very long time. But the mistakes and the problems that we had in that game were the exact same things that happened last season, which every player got blamed for. Hojlund got blamed for, Garnacho got blamed for, who else was blamed? Rashford at the start of the season got blamed for, Bruno was getting blamed for it. A lot of the same problems that happened in that Grimsby game were the same things that happened last season. So the fact that a lot of those players have now gone, and I mean, the Anthony deal, I'm not sure what exactly happened with that. I know that kind of the deal got withdrawn or whatever it is, but he was another player that kind of got used as a scapegoat. But now we've got a whole new front line. We've got a decent, in my opinion, we've got a good attack. Not even a decent attack, we've got a good attack. You know, I wouldn't replace any of the players that we've got in that front three, and even including like Ahmad and Xerxes and Bruno. We've got a very good attack, in my opinion. So there should be clear differences between this season and last season, which there is, in my opinion. But the fact that we saw the same problems in that Grimsby game means that, yeah, you are right. Like, it wasn't entirely on, let's say, Garnacho and Hojlund to blame.
Yeah.
Entirely. But it is, but not entirely.
They need to be better, obviously. They had to be better. To be fair to Garnacho, he had contributed in that FA Cup win for us and a couple of the other big games. But realistically, like, I don't remember them scoring last season against anyone but Leicester, and that's just not okay. Obviously, they probably did, but there wasn't much there. Anyway, so Mbeumo and Cunha were hoping are going to improve that. And this is what I've said multiple times. Like, for me, Mbeumo and Cunha really are kind of the deciding factors, because I know for a fact that they are two brilliant players. They've done it in the Premier League. They were contenders for Player of the Season last year, done it for multiple seasons. They are two ballers. They are two excellent players that should be scoring goals, should be contributing. And don't get me wrong, I actually think they're probably two of the best performers so far this season. Not that you can pick that many out, but I think they've looked two of the most promising players. But if they don't kick on and start firing, then you really do have to look at what's going wrong at Manchester United, because oftentimes players will come in and you'll say, too young, we bought them too early, oh, the Dutch league doesn't translate to the Premier League, or another Bundesliga flop. Like, people will say that, but when you've got Matheus Cunha and Bryan Mbeumo, who have both proven it in the Prem continuously, you then have to start looking at United. When
you say United, who's United? Who's United? Like, that's my question. Who are we actually looking at when you say look at United? United is a club. I'm gonna say it's a building. It's not a building, but it's a club. You know what I mean? So when you say look at United, you've got to bring out names. Who are the people that we're looking at? The owners, the managers, the director, whoever. Who is United?
It's hard. It's honestly hard to put a finger on it more, to be honest with you, because I was thinking about this and I've had a lot of conflicting thoughts about Ruben Amorim over the past couple of weeks, and particularly after that Grimsby game. But this was happening before Amarim came in. You know, players coming in and not, you know what I mean? Like, we've had some, what we thought were like generational talents or brilliant potential players come into this club, and like everyone's gone backwards or the career's gone downhill. That's not just happened since Ruben Amorim came in. That's been happening way before that. So I think you've got to look at the deep roots of the football club. I don't know what it is, the culture at the top. Is it the fact that the Glazer's still there? Does it need a complete shift of ownership and start from top to bottom? But it's early days. I still think Cunha and Mbeumo will do well. I think they've actually looked pretty promising since the start of the season, since they have played. I'm hoping they can get off the mark today against Burnley at Old Trafford. You know, get a goal, get an assist, you know, something. But you do have to start looking at that. Even like, I've even seen people already like start to jump down Sesko's throat, who he's had one start and, you know, a couple of cameos here and there.
That's dumb. He started one game again. I know it was against Grimsby, and it wasn't a good game, but like, he literally started one game, and he is the one player that doesn't have the whole Premier League experience and all that kind of stuff. So for me, like, Sesko, you got to give him a bit of time. Like, give him a few. Even if he doesn't score today, I wouldn't even be too mad if he doesn't score today, just because I know that's just not how football works. You're not just going to bring in someone and then just going to score on every single game. Like, he might take a few games before he gets his, gets really comfortable with playing with this team and understanding this whole, whatever this system is, trying to understand it. But you got to give him a bit of time before he actually gets some goals, in my opinion. So I really want to score today, but if he doesn't, I'm not going to get onto him.
Yeah, me too. I think the thing with Sesko, what people have got to understand is he is a young player coming in. Is into a team that is under a massive amounts of pressure. You could say the same for Rasmus Hojlund. Like, the thing is with Sesko, which is even more pressure now, is, this coming in as a Man United striker, he literally has to perform a lot better than Rasmus Hojlund, because then people say, well, what was the point of getting rid of him? Because they're both young potential strikers. I know he's had more experience. He's had more experience in the Champions League, had more experience in professional football, but they're still both two young strikers that are learning the trade and adapting to the Premier League. So, okay, Hojlund's had his turn. Sesko's in now. Let's hope he can do something. But even for me, and we'll go through our preferred 11 in a minute, I'm going to be honest, I'm going to say it straight off the bat, especially since someone's put Beth Owen in the chat. I'm not sitting on the fence.
Beth Owen.
Yeah, because Michael Owen just kind of sits on the fence a little bit sometimes. I'm going to say this. I'd start Xerxes up front today.
Over Sesko?
Yeah.
I mean, why?
Grimsby game.
Oh, so that game has made you want to start Xerxes over him?
Yeah, he came on and affected the game massively.
Fair enough.
And I just thought he looked hungry and he's had no minutes yet. Sesko is going to get time. If Sesko started, I'd be happy. I'd want to see him play. Don't get me wrong. But you can only, like Ricky always says, you can only play 11. You can only play 11 players. Cunha and Mbumo have to play. Therefore, your number 10s are taken up. I think Xerxes, I think he deserves a start. He came on that Grimsby game, showed a bit of fire, showed a bit of passion, had like 5 touches where he made an instant impact. I think he deserves a bit of a chance.
You know, it's not a terrible shot, because realistically Xerxes should be able to play in this game and have a good impact. I mean, last season before he got injured, because there was a point where like 3 or 4 players got injured around the same time. Like Ahmad was injured, Dallo was injured, Xerxes got injured, Yoro got injured, all around the same time. And just before that, I feel like a few of them were actually having a good run of games and they're actually putting in good performances, and Xerxes was one of them. So, me personally, I would still start Sesko, just because I feel like the striker position is one of the positions you just want to keep the same, only because you want to have somebody who is your main goal scorer, and that's going to be his position for every single important game. So let's say every single Premier League game, because we're not in Europe. So every single Premier League game, in my opinion, you want to keep the striker the same, just because he should be your main man. He should be. I know he might not be right now because he's still new. It's fair enough, but he should be your main man. So that's why I would start Sesko. But I'm not against Xerxes, because I feel like you said, he came on against Grimsby, decent, little cameo. Last season he had a few good games as well near the end of the season, so he could still put in a good performance, and we could probably win with him playing. But I'd prefer Sesko to start, so at least he can get more minutes in the bag, and then he can start putting in better performances.
I get that, and I would completely understand your point of why you'd start. And don't get me wrong, people get things so twisted. Now I want Xerxes to start, everyone's like, oh my gosh, you're already writing off Sesko. I'm not. Give the guy a bit of time to adapt. You know what I mean? He's just come in, a lot of pressure's on him. Ideally, I'd like to see them both play together, but I'm just looking in a way of, we have struggled to score goals. Okay, yeah, Sesko's wasn't part of that until the Grimsby game. And I think Xerxes, back end of last season, looks really promising. I like him.
Yeah.
I think he's technically great on the ball. And I think with the likes of Cunha and Mbumo, what could really work is that fluid front three of, it's sticking to Xerxes, making runs in behind, that technical, quick football, I think could help us a lot in that final third to kind of get off the mark. But I get what you mean about Xerxes probably going to be, Sesko's probably going to be the number 1. He's going to be the striker, so just get him in now. I get that. But I think Xerxes does deserve a bit of a chance based off his performances at the end of last season. He's had nothing really at the start of this season, and then he has a little bit of time. And what I liked about him is he looked like he had the bite. Like nobody else looked hungry. Cunha looked hungry. I know he missed that pen, but he looked hungry. Xerxes looked hungry, and I like that about him. Yeah,
one thing I will say about the difference between Sesko and Xerxes, they're very different strikers in terms of profile. And the way I look at Sesko, and I feel like we had these kind of problems against Arsenal where we didn't have a number 9 on the team. We had, I think it was Mount playing as like a false 9, and we didn't have somebody in the box that was just ready to score, that was just always in the right position to whether it's on Mbumo, getting the ball and cross it in, or Cunha driving through the middle, or even Mount was, getting the ball deep and playing, some good passes and whatnot, or Ahmad, when he came on the right. We didn't have that person, that player in the middle of the pitch where it's like, okay, let's aim for him. Let's try and get the ball to him and try and get him to put in the net. And I feel like when you play Xerxes, you still don't have that. He is kind of similar to Mount in a sense of like, he is going to drop in deep. He is going to try and find the ball in deeper areas to try and play off, whether it is Mbumo or Cunha or even Ahmad. Whereas I feel like it would be a different kind of play, but I feel like it could improve our chances of scoring if we just had a player who was their main purpose in the team was to just score, not to link up play. I'd rather see what that looks like rather than playing Xerxes, who, in my opinion, is just similar to playing like Mount in that same position. It's just a different kind of football that I think they'll play. I get you. I mean, it's so interesting because we've got... The fact of the matter is Man United are underperforming. Yeah. We're not getting the results we need, but we have a wealth of players that people are arguing who should be in the team because we do have depth, and it's like Cunha and Boom.
I was talking about this, and we'll get onto it in a second because we're going to go through the 11 we'd have start. But questions, I mean, is the possibility that Mbeumo gets put in at right wing back and then you have another spot open in number 10?
What would be the point in doing that over Ahmad?
Pardon?
What would be the point in doing that over putting Ahmad there? Or left wing back, you say?
No, right. Just because Ahmad hasn't really had a great game.
I get it, but I don't know. I don't see. He would. I do think Mbeumo's a better player than Ahmad, but not that much though. I don't think it's like, oh, if you put Mbeumo there and over Ahmad, we're going to see a completely different side of the game. Or I think they're both very good attacking options at right wing back. Ahmad's just not had the best. Two games really. He didn't really start the first game, so he's not had the best 2 games. But so you would say put Mbeumo right wing back and then open up a position for like Xerxes at 10 or someone? Potentially.
So you could put Mbeumo at right wing back, and then you could have Xerxes at 10, or you know how much he loves Mount at the moment. I won't be surprised if he plays. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, you're right.
Cobby, everyone wants Cobby. I mean, we're going to talk about this in a second, so we'll get into it. Get in your super chats, guys. Get in your super chats. Get in your comments, because we're going to run through our starting 11 in a second. So I want to hear what you guys think, so you can contribute, because we're going to go through it. We're going to go from goalkeeper to striker. Get in your contribution so we can see what you want as well, because we want to get you involved in the show. And any polls you want as well, let us know in the chat down below. Enchanted Angel says, Mordzs as keeper in place of Onana. Better looking too. Oh, Mordzs, little compliment in there for you. I mean, I reckon you saved one of them penalties.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even talking about them penalties. They actually just got on my nerves, but yeah.
Dex Wildlife says, who's better, Karius or Onana? James Smith says, we are so bad at transfers. I thought this would change with the new owners, but here we are again. Rahul Matthew says, why did Betis pull out from the Anthony deal? Basically, Anthony wants a better wage. And Betis aren't offering it, and United aren't offering an exit package. So the deal is kind of on hold a little bit now. Let's see how it moves forward. I think it'll still get done. Joe Pepe says, still blame Beth for getting Onana. Never forget. Guys, I'm not going over this again. I'm really not. Do you know what? Nobody's ever made a mistake in their life. Nobody is. Everyone's just always.
You signed him though.
Oh, like, I did. I went over to Italy. I went over to Inter, and I said, you know what, 40 million, please bring him over. I did it. Sorry, guys. Awo says, nice to see you again, Queen Beth. United forever. Thank you very much there. Smash a like on the video if you haven't already. I've seen Kev in the comments as well. He's going to be here on the fans forum. We can't wait to have him back. We've got me, Mordzs, Kev and Ricky on the forum. We cannot wait. Yep. And Ricky will be joining us just before team news as well. He is going to make a late arrival. He's doing a little Sancho today. He's late, but he will be here.
Monday.
He will. Nah, he's actually not late. We've only got him scheduled in for 45 minutes, but he will be here. Keel Robinson says, I think we win 3-0. Going to get some predictions in a second as well. But before we do our preferred side, before we get the team news in, we want to say who we would have start. We want to hear what you guys have to think. So, Mordzs has been outside Old Trafford, and he has been asking the fans who are here today to watch the game, what do they think? Kobbie Mainoo's future, the fans, who do they want to see play? Let's see what they had to say.
What's going on? I'm outside of Old Trafford ahead of the Manchester United versus Burnley game, and I'm going to be asking some fans on what their opinions are on some of our players, who should start, who shouldn't start. Let's see what they say. Which players are your favourite players in the team? Like, who do you want to really see start today?
Big Harry. Big Harry. He's the leader. Yeah, no, he's the main man, and we want him to score as well today.
Of course.
Bruno and Cunha. I kind of want to see them play.
Tom Heaton needs to go. If I'm going to be honest with you, you know, when you look,
you're not wrong.
When you look at Onana, you know, it can't physically get much worse than that.
Yeah,
you've got boys who are like Tom Heaton, who's, you know, he's hungry. Yeah. He wants it. He's not getting the chance. Yeah. Let the fella go out and prove himself.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Give him a go.
Yeah.
He's not playing against Arsenal. He's not playing against Chelsea, Liverpool. You know, give him a go against Burnley. Let him see what he's like.
I would say probably today Cunha has to start. Needs a few games. Yeah. Interact with the rest of the players, like Mbeumo, Cunha, Sesko, players like that there. they have to perform today. We need a result, and that's just it.
Harry Maguire, got him on the back of my shirt.
Big number 5, Big Harry.
Big Harry, he sent us to the Europa League semi-final against Lyon.
He did.
I'm never forgetting that goal. Yeah.
And my question for you is, what about Kobbie Mainoo? Where does he fit in the team, if he does fit in the team for you? And do you think he should go out on loan?
I think he should stay at the club. I think he should be played at the right position, because right now Amarim is telling the fans that he is fighting a spot with Bruno Fernandes on the team, but from what I've seen, he's not a midfielder. I think he should be playing in the 10 role in Amarim's system. So I think he should be placed in the 10 and play one of the 10 roles there, so that he can start every game and get game time.
See, to be honest with you, with Kobbie, I'm actually glad United turned around and said, nope, you're not going on loan, fight for your place. The guy's, what, 19, is he? 19, 20. You know, he's an absolute superstar in the making. He's a great player, and I don't understand why he hasn't been put on yet. He's missed the first 2 Premier League games. He hasn't got on. So I don't understand why that is. The guy he genuinely is an absolute talent. You know, get the fella on. Let him do what he does.
Yeah, I agree. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a predicted 11. Ricky is in the studio. Thankfully, Ricky is back. First game of the season, actually.
You know what? I was calling you out for being late, but you're early, actually.
Straight here from whatever holiday he was on. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go through. We're gonna do a little predicted 11. Go through the team that we think's gonna. Well, we're gonna get this combination of what we think's gonna happen, but also what we want to happen. So the first player, I mean, probably one of the biggest conversations anyway, is a goalkeeper. Beth, I mean, straight to you. Who would you even start with?
I'll have a little discussion with Ricky about this quickly, and then I'll go back to you. But goalkeeper-wise, Ricky, I've been speaking to a lot of people because, as you know, and you've probably heard it left, right and centre, we are getting ripped for our keeper selection. Quite a few people have said Tom Heaton, you know.
Do you know what? The way I look at it is we're just going, you know, we're going from bad to worse. And why not? Why not try him? Let's hope he can. If he did play, let's hope he can have a few games with no errors, because we're just making errors. Keepers are making errors week after week, aren't they?
Exactly. I don't think Ruben Amorim would have much faith in. Well, he's definitely going to have no faith in Onana. I mean, that was an absolute disaster against Grimsby. Bayindir seems to be his preferred number 1 now, but Tom Heaton, steady Premier League goalkeeper. I mean, Mords, what are you saying? Would you go Tom Heaton?
My thing is, look, what is the worst that could happen? Really and truly, like, what if both, like, 2 of our games at least out of 3 have been affected heavily because of the goalkeeper. So we either make it 3 out of 4, or Tom Heaton has a good game. That's how I see it. So in my opinion, I don't mind Tom Heaton starting.
Obviously, you're looking at this in 2 ways, aren't you? What do we think he's going to do, or what would we do? I wouldn't be against Tom Heaton starting, but I think it'll be Bayindir.
I think we're just having a couple of technical difficulties with each of the mics, so I'm going to talk a little bit, go through some super chats first, because I think it's only my mic working right now, so trying to get that up and running as we speak. Davide Smitho says, Mbumo or Ahmad at wing-back is insane. Hate the 5-2-3. Look, as much as I want the manager to work, and I want us to work, and I want us to do well, I'm not a fan of this formation. I don't think it suits the squad, and I do think you end up in a situation where you're not able to get players in their best position, therefore not able to play the best possible football that we can do. So I'm in a little bit of an agreement with you there. I'd much be rather playing Ahmad on the right wing. I'd much rather be playing Mbumo on the right wing, which is where he's been so good at Brentford. So yeah, I'm kind of in agreement with you, Davide. Keel Robinson says, I think we win 3-0. Hopefully we're back up and running now. I mean, Mords.
Am I back?
I think you're back. We're going Tom Heaton in goal. Yeah. We just had a super chat there speaking about the formation. What's your opinions on the formation?
Oh, don't even get me started. This could be a long conversation. Look, I just think we haven't got that much time, so I'm not going to ramble too much. But in my opinion, I think that super chat probably explains it, but says it the best. The fact that we're even debating who should be right wing back, and both of the players are not even right wing backs, kind of just shows you why this formation doesn't really make sense. We've been bringing in players, putting them out of position, so them in the hopes that they can kind of fit into a system which most of the players don't fit into. So, and look, don't even get me started in this midfield. So many problems in here, even personnel-wise, and the fact that like we've been ran through this midfield. Whoever we put in, another problem. Look, in my opinion, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of this formation. Not the formation, but it's just the way how we're using the formation. Because the formation can work. We've seen Bayern Leverkusen play with 3 at the back and went unbeaten. We've seen Conte do it. We've seen Glasner do it with Crystal Palace and go win an FA Cup. It can work. It's just how are you doing it? How are we actually utilising it? And in my opinion, I don't think we're utilising it in the best way. But I'm going to go to the goalkeeper. I'm going to put Tom Heaton in. Let's just do predicted. Let's just go straight. Who are we predicting to start?
Are we doing predicted or preferred?
Okay, let's do preferred. We'll do preferred Tom Heaton. Yeah.
Okay.
Tom Heaton.
Right, we'll each get a say on each position, right?
Yeah,
so, like, I'll go right-sided centre-back. I'll go Euro.
We'll start Euro. Any other option? Ricky, who do you think we'll start there?
Yeah, I think it will be Euro. I won't be against De Ligt shifting to the right. I think Harry Maguire deserves a run out in the league. I wouldn't be against De Ligt right and Maguire central. But what do I think it'll be? I think it'll be Euro and De Ligt.
Yeah, I think it'll be Euro as well. I'm pretty sure he did start He started
both
game.
league games.
Yeah,
didn't he?
both league games.
Yeah.
And I think on the Grimsby game, it was. I know Aidan Heaven started on the left and
Fredrickson and just Maguire in the middle out of
Maguire. Yeah,
the ones who have got a chance.
We'll go Lenny Euro as a start on the left and central centre back. I mean, Ricky, you just mentioned about Harry Maguire.
Yeah.
Obviously, De Ligt is kind of our main. It seems to be he is our main central centre back. But I mean, speaking to a couple of fans before the game, a lot of people love Harry Maguire. Like a lot of people love Harry Maguire, and he is a player who, in my opinion, hasn't actually put in too many bad performances of late.
Maguire was one of very few players who could hold his head up. I felt the other night.
Yeah.
And I think he maybe deserves a run out. Yeah. If he does get a run out, I don't necessarily see that it should really be De Ligt that loses out either. So it'd be an interesting one. But you've gone with Euro, and I'm not against that. And I think it might be Maguire.
Maguire. Should we put Harry Maguire in? Yeah.
I'd go De Ligt personally.
I would go with De Ligt as well. But
go De Ligt then. Go De Ligt.
Chat, what are you going for? Let's see what the comments say.
Let's see what the comments say about Maguire.
Maguire or De Ligt? Fire it in.
We'll go on the other side first, and we'll leave the central one for now.
Ricky,
let's go on the left. I mean,
he's not injured, is he?
No, you're not going to like what people are saying.
What?
People are saying drop Luke Shaw out and play them both.
Play them both?
They're saying play Maguire. They're saying play Euro on the left where Shaw plays, and the same play De Ligt on the right and Maguire central.
Are they raving mad? Luke Shaw's been the pick of the bunch by a country mile. And the other night, I think I'm right in saying he was the only player who was left at home.
It was Shaw and
was it two?
No, it was just Shaw.
Euro was on the bench, wasn't he? Mount was on the bench. I think Luke Shaw was left at home entirely so that there was no chance of him getting injured. You know what I mean? What else would you leave him at home for?
Possibly, yeah. Possibly.
Here's one for you. Sorry, I know I'm getting so sidetracked right now.
Yeah.
Euro.
Yeah.
Left-sided centre-back. Maguire central.
Yeah.
De Ligt right-sided centre-back. And Luke Shaw is left wing-back.
Oh. I wouldn't be against that. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of bombing up and down to do when you're playing as a left wing back, and maybe it doesn't suit Luke Shaw's game. In this day and age, he was brilliant at it a few years ago, but obviously you've not got quite as much bursting up and down to do if you're playing as a centre back. So he would look, he'd be better than Dorgu there without a doubt. But would he see the game out?
Look, we'll put Luke Shaw as left-sided centre back.
Yeah.
And then central. We'll go De Ligt.
The majority of the viewers said De Ligt, to be fair.
All right, let's go onto the wing backs. I mean, seeing as we spoke about left wing, but let's start there. Is there any other real option that we can put there? Now that Luke Shaw's at left centre back?
Ricky?
It can only be Dalot or Dorgu, can't it? And that could put Ahmad. I mean, Dalot did have a spell there. Dorgu got subbed into the other night, and he put Dalot on the left. I'm not saying this will happen, but it wouldn't surprise me if Dalot played there today. It really wouldn't, with Ahmad on the right. But I will with it being Burnley at home, I think he'll want to play Ahmad. And it's a toss-up between Dorgu and Dalot, but Dorgu is the man in possession, so I'd probably go as the wing-backs today will probably be Ahmad and Dorgu.
Yeah, I agree. I think he'll probably keep it the same. A lot of people know my opinion on Dalot anyway. I just don't think he is a left or right sided. I don't think he's a wing-back, just in general. And I think that's the kind of the conversation that we're going to have with a lot of players. They're kind of just being put into positions that they're not supposed to really be in. And I think Dalot is probably, I'm going to call him a victim, but he is a victim of being played out of position in this kind of formation. So on the left, I will put Dorgu. And on the right, we're saying Ahmad.
Ahmad, I think, yeah.
You saying that, Beth?
Yeah, do you agree?
You heard
look
what I
like
said
she's
before.
agreeing.
What did
I
you
said
say?
I'd be tempted to put Mbumo there.
Oh, would you?
Just because I want to change my midfield and number 10s, personally. But do you know what? Yeah, I'll go with the rest of you. I'll go with Ahmad.
Amad Diallo. Now going to central midfielders. I mean, this is a good conversation right here. I mean, Ricky, I'll come to you first of all. Who do you think walks into it straight away, if anyone even does walk in? But who would be your first player to put in that midfield?
I think to go off what you've just said there, walks into it. That's why we're having such problems there, because I don't think anybody walks.
That's what I'm saying.
Nobody walks into it.
Yeah.
Well, Bruno tends to walk into it just because he's always one of the first names on the team sheet, but he isn't playing well there.
Yeah.
Not for me. I won't be against. I won't be against playing Mainu and Mount as those two players if I was choosing myself. But I think it's just going to be the normal. I think it'll be Casemiro and Bruno.
Casemiro and Bruno. Beth, do you think anything different? I mean, in my opinion, I feel like, call me a fanboy you want, I think Kobe has to be in the team again.
I'd go Casemiro and Kobe Mainu, personally. I think we've seen Ugarte and Bruno doesn't work.
Yeah.
Mainu and Ugarte's not look the best together. Casemiro and Bruno, probably the most common pair, and I think I agree with Ricky. I think that's what we will see, but I don't think. I love Bruno Fernandes. I think he's a fantastic player. I don't think he works in that midfield pivot. I think He's
not going to not play him, though, is he?
Well, this is why I wanted to play Mbumo as wing back, because I was going to play Bruno a bit further forward in the 10. But I'd go with I think I want to see Casemiro and Mainu play together.
Casemiro and Mainu.
Yeah.
What are your opinions on Mount playing in there? Because we did see him drop in there against Arsenal. It wasn't for that long, but I've seen a lot of conversations online about potentially Mount doing Bruno's job.
Mount's work rate's fantastic. I wouldn't mind him having a run there whatsoever. Won't be against it. Again, we've chopped and changed here, and we're talking about what we think it'll be or what we would like to see. Because I really do think it'll just be Casemiro and Bruno as normal. You know what I mean? That's what I think.
Yeah, I think it will, but we're just going to have a discussion about it. I think, is there any chance, and I'm just throwing it out there, that Mainu and Mount could play together in there, or do you think it's too light?
I do. I think it'd be fine.
I think it'll be fine in that system. I think they could play together because I think Mount's got the work rate, and he's actually, I think, underrated for his ability to get a tackle in as well.
I think in terms of like, could it happen as in that, could those two players play together? Yes. Would Amarim do it? 100% no.
I don't think he would, no.
I don't think he would. Because even the fact that Kobe is competing with Bruno, that means Mount's also competing with Bruno. So that's three players all competing for this one position. And I think this side is the only side where it's like Ugarte and Casemiro. They're the only two players that are competing for there. So I highly doubt he would put Mainu and Mount if he wouldn't put Mainu and Bruno.
It's a bit like tunnel vision, really.
Yeah.
He sees those two players competing for that spot, and he sees those three players competing for that spot, or two of them. He's mentioned Mainu and Bruno, can't he, competing for one spot. And I don't see any reason why it shouldn't be mixed up more. You know what I mean?
I agree. I agree. I mean, I'm going to put Bruno in, obviously, because he's probably one player that I think will definitely start. Next to him, are we all going to say Casemiro?
I think it'll be Casemiro.
Or are we going to say somebody else?
I think it will be Casemiro. Honestly, I'd be open to playing Mainu with him.
I wouldn't mind it either.
But because Amarim has outwardly said they're competing for each other's spot, I think it will be Casemiro.
Yeah. I found out the other day as well, his first name's Carlos. Carlos Casemiro. All right, going into the 210s and the striker. Let's do the 210s first. I mean, who do we put in first? Because, I mean, you spoke about Mbumo going right wing back. Obviously, we've got Ahmad there. Does that mean he automatically goes into the 10? I
think it'll be Mbumo and Kuna. I've got to say, with Mbumo in that right-sided 10 role and Ahmad as the right wing back, I think they want to run into the same spaces, and I don't think it's working very well when they're both on the same side. I really don't think it works very well.
Yeah, I mean, it's because, like I said before, we've got two wingers, two wingers. One is the right wing back, and the other one's going to have to kind of play as a 10. So that two players who are supposed to be a winger are both playing in two different positions. So
they're getting in each other's way, in my opinion.
I agree. And then when you have someone like Dalot playing there, it's like he doesn't necessarily know how to play as a wing back either. So it's hard to find two players that really complement each other in these two positions that are supposed to play in those two positions. So I'm going to put Mbumo in anyway, just because, I mean, he did score the other day as well.
It's bound to be Mbumo in it, surely. And Kuna.
Yeah, it is. The one thing I would say to that, guys, is Amarim loves Mount.
He does.
Yeah.
He does.
There's no space in there for him, is there, at the minute?
No.
Do you think it will get to a point where if Mount is putting in these good performances where he could actually, let me say replace them, but he could be starting over one of these two?
He could start getting the occasional start.
In a Premier League game.
And Mbeumo looks like he's playing well enough to keep his place. Cunha, a little bit hot and cold, I think. I think Mount could get a start ahead of him at some stage, but with 3 league games into the season today, we're only 2 league games in as we sit here now.
Yeah.
3 league games, it's too early for a 60, 70 million pound player to be losing his spot.
Yeah. Cunha and Mbeumo will definitely play today against Burnley because he'll want to get him off the mark as well.
Yeah, I'm sure of it.
Okay, and lastly, the striker position. I mean, we literally just spoke about this before, about Sesko and potentially Xerxes starting. I mean, Ricky, what's your opinion on that? Who do you think should start today? Do you think Xerxes did have a good cameo against Grimsby, even though we did lose. But do you think it should be the main man, Sesko?
I think we've got to start giving Sesko runs again. Saying that, I mean, we've got a £200 million front line, haven't we? Yeah. We've got to start scoring some goals, and I think Sesko needs to start, and he needs to get on the sheet.
Yeah. Do you agree, Beth?
I'd play Xerxes.
Oh yeah, actually, you think Xerxes, right?
I'll just reiterate quickly what I said earlier. Why it's not that I'm against Sesko. I want Sesko to do well, and I think he's got some good attributes, and I'd like to see him, get on the score sheet and do well. And I think he will eventually be, the #1 striker. But I just think when Xerxes came on against Grimsby, he looked like one of the only players that wanted it. Like, he gave a bit, he showed a bit, he impacted the game. And back end of last season, I really liked what he was doing. He's not had much time this season. I would like to see a fluid front three where he's kind of holding it, like sticking to him like glue, and we're playing like tiki-taka, like good football, fluid football. And I think him working with Mbeumo and Cunha, you could end up seeing that. So, and plus I don't know where there's a rush for Sesko because he's only just come in, he's adapting. A lot of pressure on him, especially after that Grimsby game. I think there's more pressure on him even now because people saying, oh, Sesko's not even scored against Grimsby. You don't want it kind of like all that pressure on him again. I would definitely give him minutes, but I'd like to give Xerxes a bit of a start personally, but that's just my opinion.
The other night, when Xerxes came on, it wasn't in place of Sesko. Sesko stayed on, didn't he?
Yeah.
So Xerxes more or less playing as a 10.
I get that,
you know
but
there's we've already got 2 10s.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. There's no way that they're going to drop out.
I do think you need somebody who wants to stick at the sharp end, if you like.
Yeah.
And I think Sesko is more suited. Sesko, however you pronounce it, is more suited to that role than Xerxes. Xerxes looks a really nice footballer. I've seen some great games from him. But he likes to drop deep, get involved, move the ball around, and that's not really what we need. We need somebody right at the sharp end who wants to get in the box and score goals.
Yeah, I mean, look, this team's kind of a combination of who we think is going to play, and compared with, players who we think Amarim's going to put. So look, we're going to move on now to, we've got a VT come in.
Yeah, we've got Mordzs speaking about Ruben Amorim outside Old Trafford with some fans. So let's see what they have to say, and we'll be back with you very shortly, guys.
Okay, so my first question is, what are your score predictions?
Score prediction for me is 4-0 United today.
Oh, 4-0, I like that. What about you?
3-0 probably.
I think Cunha is going to turn up today, Mbeumo, and possibly Mount will get his goal at Old Trafford today. So
I like that.
I think Sesko will score 2 and Cunha will score 1.
Cunha, Sesko and Bruno.
See, to be honest, after the game there, on Wednesday it was terrible, but I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that United turn it around, we'll come back maybe 3-0, 3-1.
Yeah, I agree. What about you?
I think the same sort of way during the week was disappointing, but you know what, have to win today, especially international break. Have to back Amarim.
Like 3-2 United.
3-2. Okay, and who do you think is going to score?
I think Cunha will get his first goal, and then I don't know who else.
I think we win 3-0. I think Ahmad, Sesko and Cunha will score. Yeah. I think the front three needs to start scoring goals because Mbeumo scored it against Grimsby in our last game. So I think we need him to score at Old Trafford.
And my last question is Ruben Amorim. What are your thoughts on the manager?
Yesterday I wanted him to go, today I want him to stay. So
50-50.
If he changes the system today, maybe. But yeah, look, we back him.
100%.
He's all right, he's decent.
Yeah.
You have to give him more time because over the years they haven't got managers enough time, and you have to get a manager time, especially over the window. Let the players settle and then see how it goes.
In my opinion, if United lose today, he has to go.
Wow. Wow, very split decision there. Today might be his last day.
In my opinion, he has to go. But if they don't win today, after during the week, he has to go. Clearly, the players aren't playing for him. See, to be honest, it's hard to like with his personality and how he's very monotone.
Yeah.
So like trying to figure him out and understand how he is, it's so difficult. But he's just too relaxed for me. If that makes sense.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
I don't know whether the players are sort of respecting him and actually looking at him as a leader.
Yeah.
You just have to back Amarim over the next 2-3 years. Give him this window, give him January window, and then give him next summer, and then see how it goes.
He's got his structure, his formation, and it's whether that's right for the players. But I think we have to trust him at the moment.
I think Ruben Amorim is a good manager for us, but I think he needs to change the formation and tweak it a bit, because I think it's not working from what I've seen in the last couple of games. So I think he needs to find the formation that can work, or stick to his principles and make it work.
Nice to meet you. Where are you from?
I'm originally from Vietnam, but I'm also from Canada and Italy, and I came all the way from Vietnam, and this is my first time in England watching United play.
Came all the way from Vietnam. It's your first time watching United play?
Yeah.
Wow, big United fan over here. How many of you guys would come all the way from Vietnam? That's a serious United fan, so hopefully we can get the win today, our first Premier League win.
Yeah, man, against Fulham and Grimsby Town, it hasn't been good enough. I mean, just got knocked out of the cup, and I just hope we get our first win of the season today, man.
Okay, everyone, that was Mordzs outside Old Trafford. We're talking to some fans. Really interesting to hear what they had to say. We have some super chats in that we'll get out. We have Black Wolf here saying, did Ten Hag really want Ugarte? Victor Mario said, fun fact, no manager has had more than 2 successful seasons with the 3-4-3 formation in the Premier League. It is just not a sustainable formation in a long term for a top team. Hopefully we are the first. Interesting point. Mark Neighbour said Xerxes came on at 82 minutes when a League 2 team were on their knees physically. Can't compare. Dope Biscuit said I'd go with Dorgu, Mainu, Casemiro, Ahmad, Cunha, Bruno and Sesko. So you drop Mbeumo out. That's very interesting. Mario Cabrera says, Ricky, how stupid are we for letting McTominay go, Ballon d'Or nominee?
Unbelievably stupid.
Monster Silver says, hi Beth, do you ever see Bruno playing it in the number 10 role again? I mean, Bruno is Superman at 10, but as an 8, he is like Clark Kent with glasses. To be honest with you, I prefer him in the 10 as well. You don't go and buy 2 number 10s and then not play him, I don't think. And then Mbeumo and Cunha are good players, so it'd be tough. It'd be tough for him to play in that position again unless there's injuries, I think, or subs in games. And Davide, I've done that super chat. Thank you very much. On the Black Wolf saying, did Ten Hag really want Ugarte? I mean, I think from what I heard, it was Ten Hag wanting to keep McTominay and kind of the recruitment team pushing Ugarte through. But we do have the Manchester United team now that we can react to. I mean, just some breaking news coming in is that Nusar Mazraoui is back with the Manchester United squad. So that's super, super exciting because I think we've actually missed him. So it's great to have him back with the squad. But the starting 11 is... There's no striker on the pitch, guys, once again.
No striker.
Nope. So it is Bayende in goal, so he has gone back to being his number 1. You have a back 3 of De Ligt central, Luke Shaw to the left and Lenny Yoro to the right. You have a midfield 2 of Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro. You have your wing backs as Dalot as the left wing back and Ahmad as the right wing back. Dorgu is on the bench. Then you have 2 number 10s, Cunha and Mbeumo, and also Mason Mount makes the starting 11 once again. So Sesko and Xerxes both on the bench. Interesting. Just to read out the bench, it is Andre Onana. Tom Heaton doesn't even make the squad, bless him. Andre Onana, Dorgu, Heaven, Maguire, Mazraoui is back on the bench, Kobbie Mainoo, Ugarte, Sesko and Xerxes there. Reactions, people?
Wow.
Not a fan.
not majorly surprised. I did think Sesko would start, but like you said when we were going through it, he loves Mason Mount. It's difficult for him to... And he's playing well enough, don't get me wrong. It's just like... You know, you've got too many midfield players and too many number 10s, haven't you? That's the problem. Yeah. You know, we need... I believe we need a striker playing.
If you love Mount that much, he'd drop Bruno out of the midfield pivot, move Mount there and play striker.
And then play a striker. Yeah, I think we need a striker in the team. Look, we're playing Burnley at home.
I think Ruben Amorim's fallen into the same trap as previous managers, trying to force certain people in the team. And then you kind of your actual team shape kind of falls down upon that. I mean, we might go out there and smash Burnley and have a great game, and everyone will be saying, "Oh, we picked the right team." But for me, what absolutely and honestly, you know, you can clip this up. What boggles my brain is we are crying out for a midfielder. We are crying out for a goalkeeper, a starting goalkeeper, and a starting midfielder. We are crying out for. We've dropped nearly £70 million on Benjamin Sesko, right? And you're not even playing a striker 3 games into the season. Spend the money on a midfielder or a goalkeeper then. If you're happy, you know, playing a fluid front 3, if you're happy with Cunha, Mbumo, Mount, Xerxes or whatever, we didn't need to spend 70-odd million on a striker. You could have even kept Rasmus Hojlund around as a backup option. Spend it on a starting midfielder or a goalkeeper if you don't want to play a striker like that. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't understand the whole Sesko not starting. I mean, if he didn't start for Xerxes, I actually would have understood it a bit more, just because at least you're putting a striker in there. But I get Mount is playing well, and I'm not even trying to discredit Mount or anything like that, because you've got to give him a bit of credit.
Or Bruno in that case. Because it could, you know, because you say you're not trying to discredit Mount, I get that. Yeah. But at the same time, Bruno, he's also keeping him out of the team. Mount could go and play there. So it's not just Mount who he could leave out to play Sesko, isn't it? Or he could leave Bruno out.
I'm saying that because obviously Bruno's going to be playing as a 6 and obviously Mount will be playing down as a 4.
Yeah, fair shout, yeah.
I just think it's a case, and I've said it before, we've all said it so many times, we've got a whole bunch of players playing in the formation that they don't really want to play in. Because I don't think Mount wants to be a false 9. You know what I mean? I think Mount wants to be a 10 or an 8. Like that's kind of what Mount is. He is a midfielder. He kind of wants to play in that position. And because Mount is a good player, he's going to have good games. You know, in fact, they're all good players, so they're all going to have good games. And Cunha's going to have a good game at one point. Ahmad's going to have a great game at one point. Kobe, Bruno, all these guys are good players, so they're all going to have good games. But are they all going to have good games because of the system you're putting them in? I don't think that's happening. I haven't seen that any of these players play well because of the way how Amarim's played them. A lot of them play, in my opinion, slightly worse because of the way Amarim's playing them. We spoke about the right wing back position before. That's not Ahmad's position. He might be able to play there. He doesn't want to play there though. He wants to be a winger. Mbumo, he's playing as a 10 right now. Is he a 10? Or is he a right wing or potentially even more of a striker? The same with Bruno. He's playing as a 6. Is he a 6? No. He wants to be a 10 as well. Same with probably Dallo. He doesn't want to play as a right wing back or left wing back. A lot of these players are just playing the positions that Amarim's putting them in, so then they can fit into his system. But none of them actually suit the system that he's putting them into. So we're going to get individual players having good games here and there because they're good players. But as a collective, and this is why I don't think Amarim's system's working, and I don't think he's doing anywhere near a good enough job as a manager. We need to put these players into a formation, a system that complements all of them, or the majority of them anyway. And that's when we're going to see consistent. I'm talking about game after game, not one game here he plays well, and then the next game everyone plays terrible, and then the next game this guy might play well. No, consistent games where everyone's putting in good performances. That's only going to happen when they all play in a system that works and gels as a combination as for all those players. But right now we're not doing that. I'm kind of just forcing players into positions that they don't even suit.
Well said.
It's just, yeah, I don't get it. We're crying out for a goalkeeper and a midfielder, yet we've spent nearly £70 million on a striker you don't want to play. And I get it. Even if you would have started Xerxes today, which I wanted to do, I would have understood it because you're starting a striker. Just not even playing a striker. So what is the plan of it? I don't get it, because if you would have spent 70 million on a goalkeeper or a midfielder, they would have been playing immediately and been impacting this team. I mean, Ricky, what are your thoughts on the situation?
I couldn't agree with you more, really. 3 games. This is the 3rd league game now, and I know he's had a start against Grimsby. But you would think that a £70 million striker would be good enough and confident enough to be starting games, especially a home game against a team that's just got promoted.
Yeah.
You know, I just can't get my head around it at all. Why he's not playing? Can't get my head around it. Is the manager not that impressed with him? Was it? You know, we don't know what goes on.
Does he not think it's going to work?
Yeah, does he not think it's going to work?
If that's the case, then
is it even a case that maybe the manager wasn't really mad for signing him? You know, we do read reports.
Had that before.
You know what I mean? Of other things happening and behind closed doors, so to speak. So I just don't know. For me, Sesko needs to start, and he needs to start scoring goals quickly. That's what I think.
We've had it before. We had Van der Beek with Ollie. He didn't really fancy him, and he still got brought in anyway, and he didn't play. We had Ugarte with Ten Hag. He didn't really fancy him. He got brought in anyway. He didn't initially play. And I mean, I'm hoping it's not the same time this time round, because obviously it is. You know, we've been told that Amarim is working with Vivell, Wilcox, the recruitment team. So I hope it's not that, but maybe he just does need some adjustment time. But it's baffling to me. I would, to me, it's like I would have at least give Xerxes a go with the fight and appetite that he's shown. But he's clearly, you know, stubborn in making this lineup work. And do you know what I also think it affects, before I move on to the Super Chats? I think it affects Matheus Cunha. He's being asked to play up front where he's not his best position. He's better running through the midfield, carrying the ball. You know, he's good at running onto the ball. He's not a striker that wants to sit up there and hold up the ball. His best attribute, in my opinion, is ball carrying.
Yeah, driving the ball.
And someone should be running off that. And okay, you could say Mbumo can, and it's, you know, it can be fluid, but I think Mount and Cunha do a similar type job. Bruno as well a little bit, and I think there's I think he's just not able to make a decision between the three of them here, and therefore, you know, your striker's missing out.
But can we not all see that this is a big problem, though? Like this isn't like a small. This is a big problem. He's clearly misprofiling the players that we have. When you misprofile players, you get the worst out of them. You're not going to get the best out of your players when you're clearly putting them in the wrong positions. Like, who today is in their best position? Like, who? Like Cunha, you mentioned before, Cunha's not.
Casemiro, that's it.
Maybe Casemiro, and if we're basing our
Luke
team
Shaw,
on Casemiro,
maybe.
But Luke Shaw's a fullback though. Like Luke Shaw's a fullback. He's not a left-sided centre back. He's a fullback. His best position would be as a left back, because he can at least get a bit further forward than he would be able to as a left centre back. So even Luke Shaw, even though he might be playing well, he's still not in his best position.
Someone said Binder.
We probably need 2 goalkeepers if we could even do that today. But like, there is no player, in my opinion, right now who's in their best position that we're going to get the absolute best out of them, because that's their most natural position. There's not one player in this team. I know, yes, like I said before, we're going to get individual brilliance from this team because there are individual great players. Like, and I feel that's probably what's going to. I said this before, actually, before the season started. We're going to get carried by the fact that we have good players. That's what's going to happen. We're going to. Even the Grimsby game, we only came back because Mbumo scored a good goal and Maguire scored a good header. That's literally it. We didn't come back because we automatically started playing amazing football. We came back because of individual players, and we did that the whole of last season. Let's be honest. We survived because of what? Harry Maguire last minute goal, Kobbie Mainoo last minute goal, Casemiro had great games, Bruno had great games, Mount had great games. We only survived because of individual talent. We didn't survive because we actually started playing great football. And the same thing's going to happen this season, in my opinion, because because Amarim is constantly misprofiling his players and trying to just force them into this system. We're only going to actually win games or score goals because we have good players, not because the system suits anyone.
Better shout.
Do you know what, as well? I think Mordzs, you're speaking really well there, but Tom O'Duff has also just put in a super chat, which is 5 number 10s are on the pitch. 5 number 10s. Cunha, Mount, Mbumo, Ahmad and Bruno.
All want to play at number 10.
All want to play at number 10. No striker and a right back playing left wing back.
That's a great shout, that 5 number 10.
No one's in the right position, like you said,
by the way, I said to you, I wouldn't be surprised if Dalot's left wing back.
Yeah, and he'll probably bring off. Is Casemiro playing?
Yeah.
He'll probably bring off Casemiro for Kobbie or someone.
What do you think of the fat dog who's basically been dropped?
I just don't think he's been playing well. That's why I said that before. I thought Dalot might play there. I did say that. I'm not saying he will, but I wasn't surprised one little bit. I'm not saying Dalot's playing great, but Dorgo's been a bit of a shambles, I think. I've got to be honest.
Breach Roader saying, did Ahmad do enough to start again? Not in that Grimsby game, to be honest. Seal and G says Sesko had cramp during the Grimsby match. Tom Bowell says Sesko has to start for 70 million. Hojlund played the whole pre-season and now he's outcast. Another season where we are not ready and without an idea. It's a good point. Joshua Pope said, thank the heavens Anana isn't playing. Luis Medina says, why beg for a number 9 and not use him? I'm losing patience. Bisson says, this is not for me. I cannot defend Amarim anymore. Trey Warren says, Mount over Sesko is absolute swear word. Anil Setshah says Ugarte and Manu doesn't get any game time to build form. Dallo has done nothing to replace Dorgu. Sesko will soon be out of confidence. Lee Cape Town says honestly disappointed. Bruno out, Mount in his place, put in Sesko and Dallo needs to be dropped. Portuguese biased. Mr. Miracle said Ruben is screwing up the ambience of our front line. They will struggle to build any rhythm. He did the same in pre-season. No continuity. Mario Rossi says, I think he wants his payout. That team is shocking. So people aren't happy with this lineup. Lee Cape Time also says, all these managers should realise football is a team sport, not an individual sport. We are going to carry in playing absolutely garbage until we play as a team and actually field a proper team. Glenn Castle said, I'm no manager, but this system doesn't work and I'd play 4-4-1-1. Bayern Deershaw, Delit, Yoro, Mazraoui, Cunha, Manu, Casemiro, Mbumo, Bruno and Sesko. It's got balance. Amarim is done. Gavin Thomason says, in the words of Phoebe from Friends, we don't even have a plan. And you also have Darian Talks United giving a little bit of positivity in the chat. He says, relax. This lineup has created clear chances in both Premier League games. Sesko will come on in the second half. Bruno is a good talent, but is the biggest issue in this team. Everyone is out of position because of him. I mean, Ricky, you've had kind of a bee in your bonnet about Bruno for a long time. At the end of the day, he's not the one picking the team. It's Amarim, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not Bruno's fault, is it?
Yeah.
And it's even worse now that he's playing as a 6. You can't afford to be. We need the 2 players in the number 6 role to be 2 players who want to get hold of the ball and give the simple ball. They want to give it out to the wing backs or play it into the feet of the 2 number 10s and maybe get it back, then play it out wide. We need to just start. We need more fluency in the play. We need to keep moving the ball around and not. We don't need one of the number 6s looking to play any Hollywood balls at all. At all. There's the odd time in a game where there might be an obvious ball that's going to create a chance, and you've got to go for it. But in Bruno's case, when he gets the ball, he's looking for that to happen. It needs to happen more naturally. Well, you know, when you get the ball, there might just be something on, and if there is, play it. But don't be getting the ball and thinking, right, is there something on? Can I knock a long ball? Because you've already spoiled the fluency of the play. Get the ball, give it simple, maybe get it back, give it simple again, and keep the ball moving.
Yeah,
and that's what we need our 2 number 6s to play like.
I agree, and I remember I saw it on Twitter. Someone put it was a picture of the lineup for England versus Netherlands in the Euro game, in the Euros, one that's just gone. And obviously Kobbie had just come into the team and he was starting. And the play he was playing next to, they're playing 3 at the back, by the way. They're playing 3-4-3, very similar kind of formation. But the play he was playing next to was Declan Rice. Yeah. He's playing next to, you can call him a 6 or an 8, whatever you want, but the fact is he's not a Bruno type player. He is, in fact, he was getting criticised for always playing a simple pass. That's one thing that a lot of people are saying about Declan Rice is, he always plays it back or he always plays it sideways. He doesn't play it forward enough. He's kind of improved that a bit of recent, but at the time, a lot of people said that Declan Rice was too simple. He was too safe, and him and Kobbie, it worked. Like we obviously ended up winning that game, but in that moment in time, the reason why we actually started playing good football is because we had 2 players, whether it was Kobbie, it was Kobbie and it was Declan Rice next to each other, but they were both playing a very simple, kind of safe, easy football to let the attackers now go and do what they need to do. So that means when who else? What Jude was on the ball, or whoever it was, whoever else, I can't remember who was playing in attack in that game, but those more attacking players, they can go and do the more riskier passes. They can take the ball forward, and obviously in our team it'll be Cunha, it'll be Mbumo, it'll be Ahmad or Mount. They can do the more offensive. They can have more of an offensive game. But those 2 midfielders, because there's only 2 of them, like you don't have the ability or the leeway to have a risky player in there. There's only 2 years. You have to be as safe as you can.
Safe all
you have to be the most safe that you can possibly be, because there isn't a third player in the middle of the pitch where that can kind of bail you out. So in this team right now, we only have 2 players there, and if Bruno is one of them, you're leaving whoever it is to be that one safe player, which is going to be Casemiro today, because Bruno wants to go forward, Cunha wants to go forward, Mount wants to go forward, whoever, all the other players.
Bruno wants to go forward.
Bruno wants to go forward, but and because of that, you're leaving it. You're going from 2 midfielders to now 1. It makes no sense in my opinion. So I don't know if that's something that Amarim doesn't realise, or if that's just not how he wants to play. But to me, it doesn't make sense.
What do you think about this comment? I think he has to win today, so he's decided to pick players he trusts.
I'm not sure. He has got to win. 100% he's got to win, and he probably has picked players that he trusts. But it's more or less the same team that he always picks in it so far this season. What changes are there?
I don't know.
He's obviously left Dorgu out. The back three's the same. Bruno's played every game, and Casemiro's played every game. He's not picked a different team, has he? Really?
It's just Dallo and Dorgu.
He's left Dorgu out. Yeah, I think that's it, isn't it? All the others have played all the games.
Yeah, you can't really
talking about the league games.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really say the goalkeeper, because I don't think you trust any of them really, because he stopped them all around. Yeah. So the only real 2 changes is Mount. I guess
Well, Mount's played, hasn't he? He played against Arsenal, didn't he?
Yeah, that's what I mean. So you obviously trust him more than Sesko.
Yeah.
You know, if he's playing him over him.
Yeah. The point I'm making is the person who's asking that question, it doesn't really make sense, because it's the same team that he's picked in both the other 2 league games.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah.
We have K Stone saying, could this be a back 4, Shaw and Dallo as fullbacks?
No,
I very much doubt it. Moose Waller says, I'm sure you guys know more football than the manager. Billy Welch says, can you rank our number 10s? Mine would be Cunha and Bumo, Mount, Ahmad, Xerxes, Bruno. If Bruno isn't in the top 2, then he shouldn't play. That's a really interesting question. Ricky, do you want to try and rank our number 10s?
As 10s though? As in, like, playing as a number 10, or playing how they
just
play
rank
now?
them.
I will do them, but very quickly I will just say there's different ways of playing. I mean, look at the 2 10s that he signed, who were both sort of good on the ball, good at carrying the ball, and Buemo and Cunha. They're both completely different types of players to Bruno. Completely different. So the first question, I'm not a Bruno fan anyway, but let's just say Bruno's more like an Odegaard, shall we say? I know he's not like Odegaard. He keeps it simple, but he likes to get on the ball and dictate the play. Whereas Buemo and Cunha, they like to get on the ball and run with the ball, try and get shots in, maybe give it wide, get themselves in the box. They're more electric, aren't they? Yeah. So Cunha and Buemo are different types of number 10s. I'm not too sure which is the best type of 10, because if we had Odegaard, I'd be playing Odegaard. You know what I mean? So it's the type of player that they are, as opposed to how good they are at what they do. But to put them in order, I'd probably go on Buemo. I'd probably go Cunha. No, I wouldn't. I'd go Ahmad. And Buemo, Ahmad, Cunha, Xerxes and Bruno. Oh, I've missed Mount out, aren't I? I'd put Bruno last, by the way. But why not? You've been saying you wouldn't mind Xerxes playing.
I wouldn't. Marlo FC says, love you all, but you missed my super chat. I'm getting to him. There's quite a few in here. We have Notorious says, Bruno can't run the channels, carry the ball, or beat a player off the dribble. Those are all important characteristics for our number 10s. Anil Sekshar says Mount should be replacing Bruno instead of Sesko. Mount plays the simple passes quickly and finds Cunha and Mbumo. BB Coach says he selects based on best trainers. Listen to what he says. It's a culture change, still in phase 1. Long process ahead, guys. So do we have the stomach for it? What do you think about that comment? He selects off who's the best trainers. Well, we don't know. We don't know that, do we?
How do we know? Yeah, we've no idea, have we?
I mean, just off the back of that, and I'm going to get to more of the super chats because there is way more in here, which I will get to. So just making sure that I've got all the ones in up till there. Marlo FC said Dallo has been awful and Amarim tries to shoehorn him in and into an even worse position as well. Bruno, Dallo, Ahmad, Mount and Cunha all playing out of position. It will just never work. Going to get to I think that's, again, I think really, really interesting comment. A lot of people are fed up of this shoehorning of positions, and I can understand why. I am as well, like we all are.
Could I just say one thing that drives me mad? Why does Ahmad play on the right all the time? He's left-footed. Why not play Ahmad on the left and Dalot on the right?
I think it's because he likes the way Ahmad kind of cuts in
and shoots. Yeah, well, I don't.
Well, you tell him, Ricky.
I'd rather we got somebody down the wing and tried to get him into a position to get the ball across. What? And we discussed through the week, Mords, and you were dead right about the crossing from the right not being good enough with Dalot. But Ahmad, he's no better. He's a better player, but his crossing's no better. Not when he's on the right. When he's on the right, he's on his right foot. Like you just said, he checks back, he gets a shot in. We're not getting crosses in. Maybe it's a good reason Sesko's not playing as well, by the way. Yeah. We need a right footer on the right and a left footer on the left, and we need a centre forward who wants to go and get on the end of crosses.
I think with Ahmad on the right, you are right though, in terms of like he isn't, because he's not naturally right footed, he's not going to be whipping them in like how a right footer would do. I think with Ahmad, his best when it comes to being creative, his best thing is he will take a player to the line. He will he can beat his player and get to the byline and then probably cut it across the goal, which that does help, but obviously naturally he does want to cut in on his left, but at the same time so does Mbeumo.
Exactly, so, getting in each other's way. There's numerous reasons to try it.
Yeah.
And one of probably the best reasons to try it is it's going so well, counting last season, in the league this season, they haven't been too bad to be fair. But why not try it? We're not getting much right, are we? So what's the harm in trying it? Ahmad on the left and Dalot on the right.
Yeah, no, I think it's similar to what people are saying about Anthony. Remember last season, a lot of people saying the same thing about Anthony. Why don't you put Anthony on the left, put him on the left, he's left-footed, he can cross it on his left. And he doesn't.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen, but I'd love that. I mean, Dalot and Ahmad are both starting. I mean,
I don't think.
They're not going to be on them flanks, are they? Dalot's going to be on the left, isn't he?
Could you imagine now?
Dalot can't cross it from.
I've just been watching Countdown to Kick-Off. You're going to swap. I mean, just speaking about this, because you reminded me of something, Ricky, because you were talking about what you would do, and we were having a laugh in the forum group chat the other day, saying, if he did go, he would get the job, and you said I would. I'd put myself forward for it. And I wanted to actually specifically go to Mords on this question. What are your thoughts on Amarim right now? Do you think he can be? Do you think he's going to be successful still, or do you have a lot of questions?
No, I don't think he is. I don't think he is. And I said it before. I'm not one of those guys that are going to be screaming, sack him. Like, that's not really what my kind of thing. But if I'm just looking at the last 45 games, 46. This ain't his third or fourth game, This is his 45th or 6th game. He's had a lot of time, and we haven't actually seen anything, in my opinion, we haven't seen anything that says to me, you know what, he's even better than Ten Hag. Like, what has he even done that's better than if we're being honest, what's he even done better than Ten Hag or even Oli or any of the other managers that we've had, Jose Mourinho? What has he done to say, you know what, Amarim, other than speaking well, which fair enough, does that very, very well, cool. But other than that, he hasn't really done much. I mean, I just heard him 45 games, he's won 17. I think he's lost 19 or 20 or something like that. That's ridiculous. That's horrible. That's terrible. That's a terrible record to say, you know what, this guy knows what he's doing.
He's won 17 games?
He's won 17 out of 45. Out of 45.
I thought it was less than that.
It's because of the Europa League. It's actually all because of the Europa League.
Oh, because he's won a lot of Europa League games.
There's loads of Europa League games. In the league, he won... I don't know how many.
I've got his league stats up. I'll get them up now.
What did he win in the league? 7 out of 28 or something like that.
Yeah, it's not good. It's really not good. I can get him fully up in 1 second for you. But
he won. He won. I'm gonna say around 7 games in the league. The way how I look at it now is, and I understand. Yes, there has been games where we played well. There has been individual games where we played well. The Arsenal game, we played well. We had a good game against them. But the way I would look at it is, we also played well against Liverpool under Ten Hag. We also played well against City under Oli. We also played well in loads of big games with other managers. To me, I mean, Tool said it perfectly. Like, you don't actually judge managers based on how well. If we're a United manager, you don't judge them based on how well they do in the big games, because we always do decent not always, but a lot of the time we do decent in big games. You kind of judge them when we play in those mid-table Fulhams, Brentfords, Crystal Palaces. Them kind of games are the ones where you judge them. The Bournemouths, the Nottingham Forest. How well are we playing against them every single week? That's where you can see how well a manager truly is doing. But yes, we play well against Arsenal, but since then it's literally gone downhill. In fact, it literally looks worse than we did last season.
This is the stat. Ruben Amorim now has a Premier League win percentage of 24.1%. 7 wins in 29 games. The exact same percentage as Neil Warnock, who was twice relegated from the Premier League, won 27 out of 112. So 7 wins out of 29 is just... It's just unacceptable. No matter how you paint it, dress it up, dress it down, it's unacceptable.
Yeah, it's got to grow by one today, surely.
It has to. I mean, what are your thoughts on Amarim, Ricky?
Well, I think you've said it all. You know, it doesn't look like it's going to work for me. I fell into the trap myself of thinking he's a brand new guy for us who's made it work. Okay, so be it in Portugal. If I was to look at, and we were looking at it earlier, you know, if you look at that shape and you've got 3. You know, you've got 3 at the back and you've got 4 across the midfield. Your two wing backs, and nominally he likes them to be full backs, although Ahmad's playing today. Regularly it's Dalot and Dorgu, and it was last year, it was regularly with Dalot and Dorgu. He likes them to be full backs. Now, when you've got a 5 at the back and you've only got 2 in midfield, it's not enough players in midfield. And then I've had loads of people say to me, yeah, but the job of the wing backs is that they've got to get up and next to the 2 midfield players to make it a 4 across. Now, when you've got a 4 across the middle because your two wing backs have moved forward, that still doesn't mean that the opposition are sometimes not going to get through your midfield. When they do get through your midfield, you're only playing against 3 defenders. Yeah. Those 2 wing backs can't sort of say to the ref, "Hang on a minute, ref, I want to play full back now." You know what I mean? Yeah. So when you're playing 4-4-2 or 4-3-3, at least when they get past your midfield, they're against 4 defenders. If you get past our midfield, if they've pushed on to help, you're only playing against 3 defenders.
Yeah, it's weird because
I just don't think it's ever going to work.
It's like he's asking players to do just more than one job.
Yeah.
And it's like, if they don't do more than one job, we're always one man down wherever we are. If they don't get forward, like for example, Dalot, he's not naturally a winger. So if he doesn't get forward, we're now one man down going forward because we haven't got another player to be in the offense. If Ahmad doesn't get back, we're now 1 defender down because he's not naturally a fullback. If one of the midfielders is out of position, we're now 1 midfielder down because they're having to do 2 jobs. If De Ligt steps into the midfield and all of a sudden now he's in that 6 role and all of a sudden we get counted on, now we're 1 defender down because he's had to step out of position and play another position. So it's like it's constantly juggling between playing in and out of position and we're just constantly getting caught off guard.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be honest, guys. I think you guys spoke really well then and expressed your concerns in a way that I can completely relate to. I mean, I think all of us want it to work. We just want to see United win games. We want to see us score goals. But you can't help with the stats that are there, with the losses that we've had and the performances we've seen, and then again, the transfers we've had and the positions that you're then playing the new players in and not playing certain players, you're going to have many, many questions and doubts, and it's looking bleak for me, but I really hope we get a win today. I hope we play well. I hope this starting 11 proves us wrong, but let's see. There's a lot of people getting their comments in. Devil Child 1971 says, "Mords, how can you polish a turd? These are the players that have been here for years. This is why we are crap. Give him a chance and get him what he needs." This comment doors my head in.
Can I say just cap, yeah? Can I go?
Okay.
You can go.
This comment does my head in because all I hear year in, year out, it's the same players we've had for years. Okay, yeah, it's not all the players that have gone, but there's been new signings, there's been players leave.
We've turned over dozens and dozens of players.
It's just lies. Like you could have said that. You could have said that with Ten Hag. You could have said that maybe with Oli. But right now, that's just not true. Look at the starting 11, and there's only genuinely, about I say 2 or 3 players that have been there for more than 3 years. You look at Ahmad. This is his second real full season. He didn't play really that much in the Ten Hag. Our front 3 is all new. I mean, obviously Sesko's not starting today, but Sesko's a new signing who should be starting. Then you've got Wakabi. This is his second season pretty much. De Ligt, Mazraoui, Yoro, Dorgu. They're all new players.
Loads of new players.
Even Bayern and Onana are both new players.
That person might just dislike the players that have been here ages, like a lot of people do.
Every single year, a manager gets rid of a big player, whether it was Ronaldo, whether it was Rashford, whether it was Sancho, whether it was Pogba, whether it was whoever else. We've constantly actually got rid of a lot of, when you actually look at it, we've got rid of a lot of these big name players or these players that have been there for a long time. We've got rid of quite a few of them. The ones who will stay are the ones that people actually like. People love Bruno. I rarely see people complaining that Bruno's been here for too long. Get rid of him. Because if I said to you right now, Bruno's gone.
Bruno's been here longer than most now, hasn't he?
Bruno's probably one of the longest. He's been there. The only real player that I think shouldn't be here is Luke Shaw. that me personally, I know people disagree, but that's the only real person that I look at and think he's been here for he's been here for 11 years.
You want to get rid of him just because he's been here so long?
I just think
he's the best player we've got.
Oh, we're not going back into this.
He's the best player we've got. We just discussed, we just argued before the game. You give me a wry smile when I said he left Luke Shaw at home during the week so that he wasn't injured. That's exactly what he did.
11 years is too long for me, I'm sorry. Like, for you to be at a club for 11 years, you should be a veteran.
I don't care if you're a good player and one of the best. I don't care if you're a good player for 11 years. I don't care if you're at the club 40 years.
It's because of injuries,
Go then. Like, he keeps on getting injured at United. Go and play somewhere else then. Like, it's not because I don't think he's a good player. It's just
he's a good player.
It's been 11 years. 11 years. Like, why?
I understand your frustration. I understand your frustration, and the comments are going off. But I've got to be completely honest. You know how we've had these debates with Ricky about Luke Shaw. I've always rated Luke Shaw, but I got sick to my back teeth with him because of injuries, purely because of that. Because I wanted him to play so bad, and he was always getting injured, and it was so frustrating. But I thought, do you know what? You know, Ricky's always banging on about how he's like absolutely world class, and I've always thought he was very good. I thought, start of this season, I'm going to watch every single thing he does, and I have done. He's class.
He's unbelievable.
He's a good player.
Absolutely unbelievable.
If you watch every single movement,
the manager knows that as well.
It's not every single movement, because whenever you put it in a group chat, I always put something. Whenever you guys put something good, I can always hit his back with something that he's not doing good. He's a good player. But obviously, sometimes when you're looking at a player for those reasons, you're only going to see the good things that they do.
Nobody never, ever makes an error. It's about how few errors you make. And Luke Shaw makes a lot less errors than anybody else. You normally have a player to watch. Well, I'm going to watch.
We're about to do that.
I'm going to watch something. I'm going to get going in a sec, Beth. So I'll just leave you with this. Something for you to watch today. Watch Luke Shaw's heading and watch Yoro's heading and compare the two. I think you'll find that Luke Shaw invariably, when he heads the ball, finds a red shirt, whereas Yoro is more content just with winning the ball. Have a watch for it. I'm going to get going. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Off you pop, Ricky. Have fun at the game.
I'm looking forward to it. Let's hope we can get 2 or 3 goals. I'm hopeful more than expecting.
We have Saint Blanco saying, Ricky, the United stand kingpin is spot on. Shaw is immense. Jason Brown says, you can polish a turd called... Oh, I'm not even going into it. Shock says, Ricky, should we bring McTominay back? Love the show. You know that answer. Corey Luce, he says, look, I get questioning the manager, but we can't just keep changing the manager and go... the loss to Grimsby actually made me put more blame on the players than the manager. Yeah, I just want to get that point across very, very clearly. Amarim 100% has question marks, but you could have had me managing that game. The players should have won. It don't matter. The players' performance was extremely poor, and they need to look themselves in the mirror after that performance, because I don't think you can blame Amarim for the Grimsby game. I really don't. Jacob Thorpe says, I just watched my rugby league team win now, and I'm home staying up at 12 a.m. to watch United play. What is wrong with me? Hopefully my high isn't ruined. Don't get too excited, because I was excited to watch United against Grimsby. I thought, actually going to see some goals here. Going to see some goals. Just got back from my holiday. I thought, get it on the TV. Nice little, team made. It was depressing. Matt Harris said, Amarim needs to stay. This is his first season with the players he wants, not old players here from old managers. Stig Olsen says, desperate to get a new striker and then doesn't use him. Netflix and Chilwell says, Ahmad might be on the left today. Do you want a cuddle, Ricky? If we win today, you all deserve a night out having to read articles this week. Anton Mayberry says, but who at the club is tasked with challenging the coach on formation and strategy? Surely it's not only the coach. Billy Welch says, could we at least give him a full year? He was thrown into a 4-3-3. He's honest. He's gotten rid of trash personalities. Devil Child, I've done that one. Mario Rossi says, 2 players in the starting lineup are actually his. He will never be backed as long as these owners are here, and the club will never be successful again. Notorious says the lack of effort in certain games is what Keane has said long before Amarim is here. We have no true captain who inspires the team. Saint Blanco says Mordzs and Kobe Mainu both need to relax. Sporting fans told us what he was about, and now they're reigning champions. Before that, nada. Amarim in. Marlow FC said Amarim played multiple positions as a player. That's why he's living under the delusion that all players should be able to play in multiple positions. But the game has changed. We need experts. K Stone says, Mordzs speaks well. Not much improvement from Amarim, but I understand his choices today. The players we cried for started against Grimsby. Ian Beister says, Amarim has had a lot of time with other managers' players. He's had one player brought for him in Jan. Well, he had two, Aidan Heaven, and Aidan Heaven's like more of a prospect, isn't he? Dog you and now. I mean, just lastly, Adrian C here says, I am Amarim in, but he's testing my patience. Why buy a 70 million striker and not play him? For the good of the team, Bruno has to leave or be dropped as our midfield just isn't balanced with him in it. Jake Gallery with a super chat and Sam Brown saying, if we swapped Ahmad and Mount's positions with Bruno and Dallo, that would be far more balance. Sesko isn't starting because of cramp. And Sanchez says if Ruben really had to show he cared, he would have chosen a different team. This is the same unimaginative, uninspiring team. And for United, they need to win. But for Ruben, he cannot lose. More super chats coming in. Thank you, everyone, for your comments. We really do appreciate it. On people saying, he's not got fully his own players, he's not fully been backed. Managers have to deal with the squad they've got a lot of the time. Like Thomas Frank's doing it now at Spurs, and I actually think that Spurs squad is pretty strong, to be fair. But
very good squad. Managers
do have to do this. Like Unai Emery came into a Villa team that was in the relegation zone and got them up to be Champions League contenders. We've not as many signings as the whole team being changed. So sometimes managers do have to work with what they've got as well. And he needs more. He needs a midfielder. He needs a goalkeeper. We needed to get players out. We've started to do that now. I haven't fully given up yet. I still want to give him a bit more time, but I still think he should be doing better than what he is.
1 million. We finished 15th. Like, I feel like people are acting like he finished 8th or something like that, 8th or 9th, and it's like he had some good spell. We finished 15th. We couldn't have done worse. Like, genuinely, we literally got 3 points off 17th of Tottenham. We just about finished one place above relegation. To say that he should have done better is an understatement. He should have done far, far, far better last season. So, and onto the point about doing better with, or he should be able to do better with the players he has. To me, that's just a sign of a good manager. Like, surely a good manager or the best managers ever can do or can get good results out of the players that are at their disposal. Because at the end of the day, every single season, you're going to have injuries. You're going to have players, whatever, who you might get sold over. You have players who are not putting up good performances. You have to try and get the best out of what's in front of you. You can't just rely on perfection. That's just not real life. You know what I mean? Like, that's not possible.
How's Kobbie Mainoo still not starting in this team?
Kobbie Mainoo, that's a whole other conversation. I think it's just the same conversation before. He's being forced to compete with Bruno. How can you even... I genuinely, as a footballer for Manchester United, the worst news that you could ever tell me is you are competing with Bruno Fernandes. That could be... that. I feel like Kobbie Mainoo probably just sighed the biggest sigh of his whole life because he's probably thinking, well, that's me done, innit? Because who on earth is taking Bruno out of his position? He's literally the captain. That's probably the last player you want to ever compete with. So... Look, I think it'll be very, very, very difficult for Kobbie to kind of start in an important game, like in a Premier League game, to start over Bruno. And also, I mean, one of the fans that I spoke to earlier said that he thinks Kobbie's best position is a 10 anyway, which Amarim did say last season. He did say he prefers Kobbie in a 10, but we just signed 2 new 10s. So it's like he's never going to start with them either.
I think his best position's in the midfield, personally. And do you know what it is for me? Is I've seen so many people saying, I'm not liking this attitude, I'm not liking this mentality from Kobbie, saying he just wants to loan instead of staying and fight for his place when we need him. Look at him from his point of view. He's being asked to compete with the one player that will never ever get rotated or subbed, and he's captain of the club. He's not had a minute in the Premier League since the season kicked off. He doesn't feel needed, and I bet he could work his absolute everything off. You know what I mean? In training all week, he still ain't getting in over Bruno.
Never.
So I can understand him wanting to go and get game time on a loan. He doesn't want to leave, and then he's going to go out there and prove himself when he actually can get the game time and come back and be like, play me now because I've shown you what I can do. Like, how are you supposed to prove yourself when you literally can't get in the team because the person you're trying to get in over he's going to start every week no matter what.
Yeah, I think it's very harsh to say that he's being a bit, I saw someone say that he's being arrogant or something like that, or he's being a bit...
He just wants to develop.
He just wants to play football.
Yeah.
Like, he finished top 3 in the Young Player of the Year for the Ballon d'Or last year. Why would you not want to play football? Genuinely, I'm not even just saying this because I'm a Cobby fan, but he would walk into most teams in the Premier League, easily. Like, he would easily walk into most teams in the Premier League. So why
started for England in the Euro final after not being in the team at the start of the competition.
Exactly. I mean, I mentioned it before. It was
in the same formation as we.
It was him and Declan Rice playing together. He literally not walked them, but he was part of the team that kind of got to the final. So why would he not want to just play regular football? All the players that are around him that are his age that are doing well are all first team players, and he's probably playing for the worst team, but he can't get in. So it's like, why would he not want to go on loan and just play football? I don't blame him. Even though I really want to stay, I don't blame him. He's just thinking, look, let me just go and play football. He probably still understands as well that he's got a lot of things to work on, a lot of things to develop on. You can't just learn all those things in training. Training's only like one part of it. You have to actually go and play in real matches to be able to learn certain things and to be able to develop, even just physically, be able to develop playing against other competition. So that's being kind of taken away from him because of, I'm going to call it favoritism, but from Amarim. So I completely understand why he's frustrated and why he wants to play, because why would he not want to just play football and get some game time?
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I don't think it's fair to question his mentality for wanting to go and play. I think
it's even a good mentality.
I can understand it from his. It's not as if he's pushing for a permanent move. Yeah. He wants to play for United, but he's just, I mean, it's like impossible to get into that team, he feels like, and I can understand where he's coming from. I understand working hard behind the scenes. I'm sure he's working incredibly hard, but he's not going to drop Bruno no matter what. Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it? And you could say we're going to need him throughout the season. Okay, yeah, potentially, but he's not had a minute yet. Let's see if he gets some minutes today. Quickly, Mords, player to watch.
Player to watch. I can't remember who I put, but I think I'm going to, from the team that's out right now, I'm going to go for, I think Mbumo, because I feel like this is his game now. I feel like this is a game where he steps up and he actually gets his first goal. He scored against Grimsby. It was a pretty good goal as well. So, and I always say, look, 3 p.m. kickoff, that is Brian Mbumo to a T. Like, that is his game. No one's watching. TVs are off. It's just Mbumo and the fans. And I think he's going to have a good game today. Hopefully he will get a goal, maybe even 2. But yeah, I think he is, especially because we don't even have a striker. So I'm looking at the forward players and I'm thinking, who's going to get me a goal? Unless it's a penalty and Bruno takes it, and I mean, hopefully he scores it this time. But I think Mbumo will be the one to actually go out there and get us a goal. So he's going to be my player to watch.
Yeah, I like that. I like that little Mbumo comment there. I'm hoping so. I really want him or Cunha or both of them to get off the mark today. Yeah. I think they need it. Mine is Bruno, simply for the fact that I've been really disappointed with his start to the season, knowing his standards and what he can do. Yeah. And I want him to prove to us that he can work in that midfield pair. I want him to prove that to us. We know how good he can be. We know his talent. We know how good of a player he is. But show me he can do it in the midfield too.
Yeah, I agree.
And Ahmad as well, actually. Ahmad's not had the best start to the season, and we know how good he can be. Even at right wing back, he's had some really great games there. So go and show us that Southampton performance that he had, where he scored a hat-trick from right wing back. Yeah, true. I think my own play was actually Ahmad, to be fair, for similar reasons, just because we all know how good he was. In fact, there was a point last season where everyone was saying Ahmad's first player on the team sheet, and I think we've had that for quite a few players where we looked at them and thought, ability-wise, these guys are definitely good enough to play for United. After that City game where he scored the winner, everyone was singing Ahmad's praises. I seen people make fake Ballon d'Or kind of pictures about Ahmad, and it was like... He put it in his own dump on Instagram.
Yeah, that's what I saw it, actually. He put it in on
Manifestation or what?
So Ahmad, we all know what he can do. It's just, I mean, again, is he being utilised correctly? Is he being put in his best position? Is this kind of partnership with him and Mbumo? I think it could work, and I think 2 great players, they should be able to make it work, but it's just got to click. And I think once it does click, we will see them both playing a lot better, and hopefully, again, Ahmad, another player, you can hopefully get off the mark and get a goal probably today. Nice. Quickly to end, score prediction? 3-1. 3-1. We have no goalkeeper, so we're going to concede. I'm going with 2-0. Don't ask me why. Fair enough. The hope is still there. They could shoot from anywhere and score. 1 or 2-0. 1 or 2-0. I want to see goals. In
For us, that is. Last little super chats. Ams141 says Ahmad has personal issues at the moment. He was hesitant on telling the manager he wanted to raise it after the Grimsby game. I'm not sure about that, but that's what super chat said. Vig Govin says, honestly, I don't trust the players. Every manager gets stuff because players don't turn up. Amarim seems shocked, to be honest, as if the players are good in training. I don't want to repeat the cycle. Luke Howard said, come off the bench, make your mark, get in the team. If Bruno gets dropped, should he ask for a loan move? Ross says, Amarim looking for the sack with these selections. Brian says, Mordzs, if every good manager should get the best of the team he gets, why did Pep not do that at City? Turishan says, how come Garnacho isn't on the bench? He's watching Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, mate. Nathan N. John says, I trust Amarim, we will win. Trust. Williams 2.0 says, 12 a.m. almost in Sydney and no Sesko. I'll stand by Ruben. It's time we stand by a manager. Let's get the 3 points. Haydar says, don't know about you guys, but if everyone finds it easy to counter your system, then your system is the problem. Andre says, Shaw is class, but not in the back three. We need to see him as the wing back. He's a natural left footer. We are dying for good crosses, which is what he has. 1 Inch Wonder says, Dallo, Ahmad, no Sesko. I wish I understood. LJ said, we constantly say how we never sell players for years. We spend and barely sell. Getting rid of one big player every year is not enough. Rob McCormack says, he's picked the players he trusts the most. Dillett says, to be honest, I'm okay with the most players, but Dallo can't be playing in 2025. He's as much of an issue as Onana, very hard-working, but lacks the ability. John117 says, a 10 and 8, a left back at centre back, a right back at left wing back, a 10 at right wing back. What the F? Jordan Jones says, is it just me or does that line up screen for at the back? Let's see it. Let's see how it goes. I very, very, very much doubt it's going to be 4 at the back, but let's see. And Haydar says he does not play to Menu strength. A guy that talented should be on the ball, not constantly spamming long balls. That idea only gets you a 24% win rate in the Prem. Thiago says, Beth, check the Jackson deal. And Peak says we can blame it all on Pogba. Right. On that note, Morty's going with a 3-1 prediction. I'm going with a 2-0 prediction. We should infiltrate Goldbridge's watch along with why no Sesko. Free Sesko, free Cobby. Get it in the Goldbridge watch along. Let's hope we get a win. We're heading over to Old Trafford now. We'll see you back on the forum. Enjoy the game, everyone, and come on, United.